G'day guys, I'm Dipper and welcome to Friday Chat, and always looking forward to catch up with some of the greats of the AFL, but some of the characters of the AFL today. And today we've got Maxy Gawn, and Maxy, he's just joined us. Maxy, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Dipper. Exciting. How about this? We're on Zoom.
How terrific is this? An old man learning new tricks or something like that? I don't know. Is this your first Zoom?
No, it's actually, I've obviously taken over the captaincy this year, Dipper, and I seem to have a meeting almost every day. I kind of want to hand the captaincy back. It's just an interesting time. Yeah, back in the day would have been a bit interesting.
Well, back in the day when you're captain, I never made captain, mate. I always pushed. I actually got some stickers made up called Dipper for Skipper, and I put on all the players' cars. I was skipper, but in the reserves, not the seniors.
That still counts.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't count. But anyway, look, and thanks for joining us. And it's different times right here, my friend, isn't it? Because of we're isolated, you're isolated, and we're talking about a bit of footy, but. First, congratulations on the captaincy. You must be absolutely stoked.
Yeah, no, it's a big privilege to captain the oldest club in the land, and so much rich history that goes with the Melbourne Football Club, especially during that era of the 40s and 50s and the early 60s. Almost merged with your club there, Dipper, for a little bit. Some people came out and saved that from happening, and unfortunately, the last 20 years since the 2000 grand final, there hasn't been much success. So that's what I'm excited to hopefully bring. But challenging times at the moment. Obviously, it's already been reduced to a 17-game season, and it's going to be pretty jam-packed with games happening almost every night. I almost think this one will be the hardest premiership to ever win. With such a reduced time slot and welfare management and load management and this big bubble of player pay cuts and whatnot over people's head, it's going to be an incredibly hard season to win. So it makes me almost more driven at the moment, Dipper, to try and win it this year. Yeah,
well, that's very well said there. A very different year ahead of you. We'll touch on that in a moment, but how did you find out about the captaincy and what's the process at Melbourne?
The process has changed almost every single year I've been to the club. This year was an anonymous player vote. So it's a hand in a sheet of paper to the person who was running it. And you had to just name your captain, your vice captain, and your deputy captain. So 3 names were on the sheet.
Who did you put down?
I went me, 3, 2, and 1.
I did that once too, and it's still going to work, Maxine. No. Yeah, on the serious note,
I obviously had Jack Viney and Jake Lever was the other one that.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm a really big fan of, and then so the votes came in, and obviously I finished on top, and the call was made. But me and Jack were a long way ahead of the next name, so that's why there's a 2-man leadership group as well. Which is quite weird when Brisbane in the same year name a 10-man leadership group. There's so many different ways to do it. We've had 10 in the past. We just feel like where our club is at the moment, two leaders was the best way to go.
Yeah, it's always interesting having too many cooks in the kitchen, people might say. Were you in a room or just get a phone call, or were you was it sort of like Survivor? You're hanging in there and going, righto, your candle's out?
Well, apparently. So I hurt my knee just before the start of the season, Dipper, and I was out doing some training while everyone else was inside. I was out doing some isolated knee training at the time, and they set up Goody's coaching room with cameras waiting for me to come in. But I took 3 hours to come in, and I ended up pulling that. So it didn't end up working. So Goody ended up having to call me because it got leaked to the media throughout the weekend. So Goody ended up calling me. He came around, and then I think it got released the way they did it. They just did it in the theatre and announced me as captain. So great privilege.
Yeah, it must be a big buzz, mate, because you're the first ruckman from the Demons since Carl Dittrich, the great Carl Dittrich, as captain of the Melbourne Football Club.
Yeah, and some surprise. It surprises me that Jim Steins wasn't captain during his time. And we've had some good roughs, to be honest. We had Jeff White there for a while as well.
Of course.
But yeah, the first ruck in obviously Jared Witts is currently still the captain of Gold Coast, so me and him. But before that, I think Matthew Primus might have been captain at Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
So there hasn't been many.
No, it hasn't been many at all. But anyway, got the number 11, mate. So when you got the number 11, actually, some great questions have come through on Facebook. And, of course, this is brought to you by Team Zone footy cards. I'm not very good at this. I've just got to try and get this. I'll get the cards out there later on. But one of the questions here, there's a few questions here, my friend. Let's just talk about, well, firstly, take off your hat.
Okay. Okay, do we do a slow little reveal?
There's your hat. There's your hat. Okay, now Maria wants to know, why the haircut and are you happy with it?
Well, I'm not a fan of letting my hair grow out. So as soon as it got to the length that I wanted to shave it again, I thought, how about we just try something different? And this got left on top. Not a dusty, is it? Not a dusty sort of like look-alike? No, it's sort of, I'm not sure what the best way to do the back is. Can you sort of see that?
Oh, that's right. Oh, mate, I used to have that little mullet at the back there.
Yeah, it sort of thins out a little bit where Dusty's got a bit more party at the back.
Terrific, my friend. And a lot of people don't realise with facial hair, right? So why the facial hair? But, you know, when you wake up in the morning, you've got to treat it as is like it's, you know, this is who we are, Maxy. I'm the mo and you're the beard.
Correct. I've always been a big believer. If you can grow a good beard, you should do it once in your life. I've managed to hold mine for a little bit longer, but I don't grow it in patches. It sort of grows all in one spot, which some people struggle with. There's no ginger in there, which is always good.
Well, it makes you very cool, very, very hippie, because the next question here, because of Team Zone, you get a chance to ask all your superstars questions, and we've got boxes of footy cards to give away for good questions. But this one here is, if I just got to find it there, Maxy.
That's all right.
Okay. So who at the club, I mean, you're a very cool man. Who at the club tries to be as cool as you?
Oh, the coolness.
Because you're very cool. You're very laid back. But I reckon there'd be people out there thinking, you know, who tries to be as cool as you? And that comes from Louise. Thanks, Louise.
Well, there's so many different types of cool, Dipper. There's the new cool is to be a mad gamer. To be right into your PlayStation and Xbox, and that's the new cool.
Right.
So Charlie Spargo, a young little small forward, he's as cool as it gets in that part. But then there's also the old school cool of walking down Chapel Street looking good, driving a nice car. And that's probably led by Jake Melksham, I'd say. So they did.
Oh, righto. Yeah. I reckon Louise might have thought it's Petrarca.
Ah, yeah, Petrarca. Yeah. Well, you don't want to give him any more compliments, Petrarca.
Now, Louise is a mad Melbourne Football Club fan. She sends her love to you. To get the number 11 from Jimmy Steins, what does it mean to you to have that number at the club?
Yes, I started in 37 as well, which is the number that Jim originally started in. So, look, I one of my biggest regrets, although I couldn't do anything about it, was not meeting Jim when he was well. I only met him when he was sick, and he was an incredible man when he was sick. So I can only imagine what he was like when he was well. But he pinned me out straight away and basically gave me the okay to be different. And look, football clubs at the time is you get drafted and you're supposed to be this stereotypical person. And when you come in a little bit different, it can be hard for some people to come across, especially as I wasn't playing football in my first few years, being injured and being a developing ruckman. It's very hard to be different. And Jim was the person who gave me that confidence, and he did things quite differently as well. Obviously, he was the only Irish player to play for a little bit there, and he played 240 games in a row or something, played probably with a broken leg. The guy was crazy.
I met him first time I met Jim was in 1984. He was 14 years of age, and we were over there playing international rules. And we thought we could kick a ball, but he came along and showed us how how to kick the ball. You know, you're not going to but I, you know, and become great friends with him and travelled Ireland with him for many, many times. A really inspirational person.
Well, I've gone from 37 to 11 like he did, and he won a Brownlow and I'll win it this year. So it's all going well.
Now, also, Louise, would like to know when you used to work at Domino's, or pizza joint there, what was your favourite pizza?
Domino's used to have interesting names for their pizzas. Their meat lovers was called a Meatosaurus. Don't really know why it was, but that was easily my favourite. With like the cheesy crust, you know, the cheesy crust when you dip it.
Yeah. I know that one. Yeah.
That would be my stock standard.
And Geordie would like to know, is a Melbourne man too. What's your greatest personal achievement?
Greatest personal achievement.
Good questions, aren't they?
Geez, that's a doozer. Obviously, football is pretty high, but it isn't my greatest achievement. And since I've gotten older, I've realised there's a whole lot more to footy. There's a whole lot more to life than footy, is what is the line I was looking for there. I'm now married, which is obviously a big effort for someone looking like I do, Dipper.
Is your wife tall?
She is reasonably tall for a lady. I'd say 5'9" would be a guess.
Yeah, she's up there. Yeah,
Mum's 5'11". She's where I get the height from. And I've also got a couple of businesses as well. So I'm not sure what the best achievement of all that is. I'd have to say the wife because she's over my back shoulder. But hey, I won a really, really good quaddie when I was 17 years old. I still think that was the best thing that happened to me.
Of course, you're allowed to punt when you're 17, aren't you? Anyway, this is a question from Merrin. Now, Maxy, my twin brother and I are massive Melbourne club supporters and massive supporters of Maxy. What advice would you give us young'uns to be as good as you and make the AFL? I'm not quite sure how well they are, Max.
Yeah, the main thing that I tell people, and I mean, there's varying levels of skill level in the AFL. I mean, you've got to be able to kick and mark and whatnot and keep working on your skills as much as you can. But there's varying levels once you get to the top level, so you don't necessarily have to have that as your best quality. I would say keep practicing them, but keep making sure that you enjoy and love the game. As soon as you fall out of love with the game or stop having fun, then you just stop giving it your all and it becomes a chore, and then you spiral out of control. And you see that at the top level so much. So my main, as much as it's, you're probably enjoying it already, the guys who asked the question, just make sure you keep enjoying the game.
That's a great answer, Max, because a lot of people have asked me, you know, what do you miss about the game? I just say, I just miss playing. Just miss him playing. I just miss the locker room stuff, you know. I mean, you have ups and downs in footy. I think we have more downs than ups. When those ups come along, I was fortunate enough to play in the great sides, but, you know, it's hard work. It is hard work. Prepare to do the hard work, but you got to love the game.
Yeah, correct.
And would you say the easiest part is playing the game? Not training, just playing, you know?
Footy's become so much more than just the game at the moment, and especially in the times we're in now. I mean, we're not even playing the game, and it's a crazy time. But easily the best time of the week is the 2 hours you get to play game day. The morning of the game. Yeah. You got that little nerve in your stomach. You get to go out and have your coffee, and that's a great morning. And also, I love the day, the main training session, because I still love training. Training is the best thing. I mean, we're full-time athletes, and we only really out on the oval for 2 hours of that week. So there's a lot of stuff that you do inside, a lot of study on the game, a lot of weights, a lot of recovery. So you don't actually get out in the oval that much. So the actual training session is a lot of fun as well. Okay, so you're more in the classroom than playing the game. Yes, I
know. But you've gone through, I think this is your 9th, 10th year coming up, is it? 2011,
2009 was when I was drafted.
Right.
First game in 2010.
Righto.
So no, first game in 2011. I was injured in 2010.
So roughly been in the system 12 years or something like that now.
Yeah.
So how quick does that go? And how much has the game changed?
Yeah, it goes incredibly quickly. I still feel like I've got a whole lot more to give, but you look at your age, even though I'm turning 29 this year, so I'm still in a good age profile, but you look at it, like it gets pretty thin once you get past 30 and there's not many going around. We're all hoping for Aaron Sandlands to have an unbelievable year last year because he was 36, but unfortunately he was a little bit injury prone, so that doesn't help us. No, look, it does go really quick. The sort of, especially when the first sort of 3 or 4 years, I was really just kicking back, just loving life, being a footballer and not really working my backside off. So that's obviously changed now, but I could have made a whole lot more of it early on, but I didn't.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I've only played 120 odd games, which is about, it averages to 10 games a year if we go on the 12 years, which is not a good average. Obviously I've had 2 knee recos and a few other little mishaps with my knee, but I probably could have got a lot more out in my first few years, and that's what I'll look back on probably when I finish.
Yeah, I remember the great Alan Jeans, the coach used to say, fill your boots, son, fill your boots. You think, I've got plenty of time to fill my boots, but it goes quickly, doesn't it? It goes quickly. Now, here's another great question here. Okay, from Ethan, you're 5 points down, and of course you're not having the shot. We've seen you kick, right?
Yep.
We're 5 points down. The Storm's gone. Who in the AFL would you choose to kick for goal?
Well, I've had that opportunity a few times. It seems to haunt me. I love getting myself in the position to take the mark, but it's amazing how many times it's happened. I miss goals in crucial times, but I'll keep working on that dipper. The best kick, you got to go on evidence of the guys who have done it already. I think David Mundy's done it twice.
Right.
So from my team, I'd say Christian Salem because he's the one who's done it for us. He's
left footer.
He's won the game with about 2 seconds to go off a set shot before.
Yeah.
So I'd say him from my team, but from outside, David Mundy. The guy's his veins are made of ice.
Yeah, he's made his life out of kicking those special goals. Okay, now, all right, another great question here. And we just get to know a little bit more about you. Michael asked, now I've got a barbecue show called Dipper's Backyard Barbecue Wars. It's on Channel 7, mate. Now, when you run a barbecue with your mates, what's your go-to food? And, and you love barbecuing?
I'm a big barbecue man. I'm almost 4 or 5 times a week. I'd cook something up on the barbecue, either lunch or dinner. Well, there's a massive sort of phase going on at the moment of Barbie Onions. Angus Brayshaw has released a little Instagram page called Barbie Onions. And it's made me realise how good Barbie Onions are. So I've been cooking them up almost every day, just chuck an onion on the Barbie. You can have it with anything. You can have just the onions if you want. That's all you really need. So Barbie onions are my favourite thing by far to cook on the Barbie.
Now, just for the kids out there, it's isolation, which means that you really can't do much with your teammates. How you training, and you do it locally, or you just at home? So what's the process?
I'm down the coast at the moment, and I've got another teammate who's down here in Adam Tomlinson. So we just go down to one of the local ovals and run some laps, and it's a bit more intense than that, just run laps. It's actually, we've got a fair training program where we're doing about 30 kilometres a week,
right?
In terms of running, so there's still a fair bit going on. And I love cycling, so I'm out on my bike twice a week as well, maybe 3 times a week if I can fit it in with running. I've got a teammate who's keeping me sane, and I love fitness, and I love the health and fitness sort of category of life. So it's that's what's keeping me sane during isolation. I haven't actually. At the start of isolation, I said, will I go back to PlayStation like I was 18 again, or will I start watching Netflix and get addicted? But I haven't really had too much time to do it. I've just been keeping busy with sort of stuff around the house and.
Oh yeah, no, you've been the bunnies. You've been the bunnies down the road.
Yeah, I did until I realised it's a 4-hour line.
How's that for isolation? Now listen,
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen this, but this is it, mate. This is your captain's card right there. I'll just try to get the glare off that. Now, you've only been the captain now for, I don't know, a couple of months now, and you've got the card already, but look at that, captain's card. It's absolutely wonderful.
So they must have made that quickly.
Yeah. What sort of haircut you got there? Oh, it's a bit of
It's close to this.
It's close to that. Yeah, close to that. But
it's very rare. It's very rare I've got the ball in my hands. They've done well to get a photo there.
Now, you always got the finger up like kicking a goal or something like that. Hey, just on that, were you, there's a question here. I'll just find out who asked that question. I'll find out in a minute. But were you a car collector as a young boy?
I was, but I wasn't big on it.
Yeah.
I wasn't. If I wasn't go down to the milk bar and waste all my money on it.
No.
But if I did get my hands on them, I did keep them, and they became a bit of a prized possession. I was massive on Pokemon cards as well.
Oh, Pokemon, jeez.
Yeah, I was big on Pokemon cards. They got banned at my school because that got a little bit physical one day.
Do you remember, like, when you were collecting the cards and you were collecting, you got an awesome card, you thought, oh, this is the one, this is the golden ticket. Do you remember any of those cards?
Oh, it was the best day ever. I mean, with footy cards, I picked up Jeremy Cameron's the other day, and I didn't think of anything of it. And I got some feedback. Apparently, it was an unbelievable card. I don't know which one I pulled out, but but I was more excited for Bailey Fritz. I picked up the little dynamic small forward at Melbourne that no one else would be excited about.
Well, when you pick up these cards, and the kids out there love collecting cards and love collecting. But this year you got all different type of cards. Here's another one, Max. This is called the Magic Wild Card. This is what you look like on the Magic Wild Card. Yeah, bit of basketball there. I know you're a Bulls man, are you?
Yeah, that actually looks like my haircut.
There you are.
That's actually a little bit closer to my haircut.
But you love the Bulls, don't you?
I am at the moment while watching this Netflix doco.
Now let me just turn you up again. There we go. Oh yeah, the Netflix doco. Watching what a play here. Hey.
Yeah, it's amazing that the doco's taken 25 years to come out. They've been holding on to this vision for 25 years.
Now you're a Patriots man as well.
Not as big on NFL.
Right.
I mean, I can watch it, but I don't really have a team.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. All right, let's get into some serious stuff about Melbourne Football Club. You mentioned before, it's been 20 years, my friend. It's a long, long time. And I thought last year you really had a chance to do something, but it didn't work out. So what are you saying to our fans out there?
20 years since the last grand final. I think it's 55 years since the last flag. Not that I'm counting. It's been a troubled time, but I've obviously been there since 2009, and my first sort of 5 or 6 years, I fell in love with the club because I had to go to every game to watch. I was injured. I was sitting on the sidelines, and it's been a tough time to be a Melbourne supporter. And 2018 was a great little ride that we were able to take our supporters on, but unfortunately, we didn't back it up last year. The competition always improves. Every team improves, and 17 clubs improved last year, and we did it. We thought our 2018 form would be able to hold on, and we didn't improve. So this year we like to think we have. We've improved on. It's a bit hard not to, because if we didn't improve, we only had one spot to go down. We finished 17th, so we had to improve. And unfortunately, we lost to West Coast round one over there. I mean, a lot of tough circumstances with that trip, but West Coast were able to hold themselves better, and the 5-goal lead they got early on just managed to hold for the rest of the game. So we're already one down in a 17-game season, so we got a little bit of an uphill battle from here for the next couple of weeks just to get a couple of wins on the board, and who knows how it's going to be structured, and we're going to play 4 games in a week and then have nothing for the next 2 weeks, so it's going to be a game of momentum this year. So we need to capitalise on the momentum we have, and I'm sure the Melbourne fans can think of 2018 and hopefully think that we're still improving. And 2020 and the years, the immediate future looks promising for the red and the blue.
Yeah, the red and the blue. Well, Maxy, thanks very much for joining us on Friday Chat. You are a character, but what I love about you're an honest guy, and captaincy is going to suit you down the track because you are a leader. And thanks for all the questions, all you guys out there. So we appreciate from Team Zone 2. Going to send out some boxes of cards and also an album out there. But great times ahead, mate. I hope you get back on the paddock and hope you get a chance to kick that goal after the siren.
Yeah, it's coming, Dipper. I'm hearing some noise. There's some noise about footy coming back, so I reckon it's coming.
Good boy. Thanks very much, my friend.
Thanks, mate. Good man.